And like I said, interesting conversation last night. I guess I got a bunch of new trolls that are following me. That's the only bad thing about getting back in the algorithm is you start showing up in people's, you know, thread. I guess that's what they want to call it. And so you get some new subscribers, don't get me wrong, but then you get some that are like, I wish you would have never found my channel. Anyways, there's the moon right there. Huge giant satellite. I had a question to ask you guys as I'm on the way to work. How much sleep is enough sleep? I don't know, the mind and the body's kind of tricky, you know? It is. And, there's been nights where, like tonight, for example, I went to sleep around about 12:30, right? After I, shut the video off and everything. I went straight to sleep, right? And I'm thinking, man, I'm not going to get enough sleep because I got to get up at 5:30 in the morning, right? So I had to get up, make sure that I get ready and everything like that. And, prepare for work. But for some odd reason, I got up this morning and I felt great. And I only had, 5 hours of sleep. So I had 5 hours of sleep. And I got up completely fine this morning. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm like up, I'm alert. I have some coffee right now. I got a banana. And I brought some popcorn for lunch just to have something small. Because, it can get pretty expensive for lunch. You spend $10 a day, man, it adds up. So sometimes I'll just bring a small snack. And I only had 5 hours of sleep tonight. And I got up just fine. I didn't have an issue. And then there's been some nights where, I'll go to bed at fucking 10 at night. And I'll get up at, 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. to get ready for work. And I'm having a hard time getting up. It's like, what the hell? Like, some people say that you're supposed to have a lot of sleep. And then some people say that you're not supposed to have like too much. So I went and I Googled it yesterday, just for shits and giggles, like how much sleep are you supposed to have? And it says the recommended is 8.5 to 9.5 hours. But as crazy as it sounds, like sometimes it's kind of hard to get 8.5 hours of sleep. I guess it just depends on the day. Or it depends on the person, Because, man, I'll tell you, I had 5 hours of sleep tonight and I'm fine. And then yesterday, I had probably maybe about 7 to 8 hours of sleep, and I struggled getting up the day before that. Like I say, kind of slept in. And I'm like, damn, man, how is it that, some nights you get a whole bunch of sleep, you struggle getting up, and there's some nights you hardly get any, and you get up, you're like, fine, And then sometimes you get that 8 hours of sleep and I'll wake up just fine. And then sometimes I'll have a day where maybe, let's say I get 4 or 5 hours of sleep and I struggle getting up. So I had it on both sides of the fence. It's like weird how the body is. It's like, how much time are you supposed to sleep for? Like, what's the right number? Have you ever slept 12 hours? Yeah. And it sucks. Everybody says, man, I'll sleep in all day. I'll tell you what, the worst feeling is sleeping for 12 hours, man. I don't know why. I did that the other night, maybe about last weekend, I think. I slept about around 10:30 at night, and then I woke up about 9 o'clock to 10 the next day. And I'm like, yeah, I had a whole shitload of sleep, and you would have thought that I would have just been able to get up. Hey, no issues on waking up. Man, I struggled getting out of the bed. I said, holy shit. So I guess there's a such thing as too much sleep. So I tried looking into it to see exactly how much sleep are you supposed to have. And I get different numbers. Like it says first 8.5 to 9.5 is recommended. 8.5 to 9.5. Then it says, 6 hours, 5. Some people say they can sleep on 4 hours a night. To me personally, it's kind of a game of cat and mouse. It's a game of cat and mouse when it comes to trying to get the right amount of sleep. And your body, I guess, reacts differently. Maybe during certain times of the month, maybe it's weather conditions. Because you know what? Here's one thing I've noticed. It's easier to get out of bed when you're fully dressed. So, for example, I hate getting up early in the mornings, but I do it, right? Once I have my coffee in me. So, y'all might think I'm weird, but I'll wear like 2 t-shirts to bed and sometimes a pair of socks. And if I really want to make sure I wake up, I'll sleep with the light on. Like, I'll just leave my lamp light on, right? A lamp on. So that way I don't fall in like a deep, deep sleep. And that way I can still kind of like get up. And that's what I did this morning. I had like 2 shirts on, some socks, and then I had my lamp on, and I woke up just fine. And then if you sleep with nothing on, it's harder to wake up. And it is. It's harder to wake up when you're not wearing much and the fan's on and that shit's blowing like all night. So it's real cold and it makes it even harder for you to wake up. So I just figure, what the hell, I'm gonna leave the lamp on, and then I'm gonna leave, a couple t-shirts on and some socks on. That way I stay warm. And then as soon as it hit like 5:30, I like woke up, was playing on the phone, and then I just got up. I said, I'm gonna get up early. Well, because I gotta go to work. I'll tell you this though, man. Body's very tricky. You never know how much sleep you really need. It seems like to me like the less sleep I have, it's easier for me to wake up. Like, 5-6 hours. If I could get between maybe like 5 and like 6 hours, like somewhere around there, it'll probably be a lot easier for me to wake up. If I get maybe like, let's say 7, hey, all power to you, right? You get that extra hour in. But I don't know. I've done 8 to 8.5 hours of sleep. I mean, I feel okay, don't get me wrong, but for some odd reason, when I've had certain nights where I've only had 5 or 6 hours of sleep, I just feel like it's easier for me to get out of bed than it would be if I just had a full 8.5 to 9.5. I just don't want to get out of bed. I'll tell you what's even the most weird thing. Have you ever had those nights where you're off the next day? Like, let's say you're off for 2 days, right? You're like, yes, I'm off the next 2 days. I'm going to stay up late, watch videos, sleep in. And then it'll come 9:30, 10 o'clock. You're like, fuck, dude, I'm kind of tired. And then you're like, I know I'm off tomorrow, but fuck it. I might as well just go ahead and go to bed. Oh, thanks, Bradley. You go to bed, at 10 o'clock, right? It's like 10 p.m. You're like, I'm going to bed. And then you go to bed and you wake up the next morning, let's say 5 or 6 or 7, kind of like early bird gets the worm. And then you're like, damn, I should be sleeping in, man. I'm supposed to be off today. Wait a second, fuck it. And then the opposite happens. The day you're supposed to work the next day, you're like, okay, I got to go to bed early, man. I got to be up early. Fuck. And then you start surfing and screen sucking on the internet, right? Because you're watching YouTube videos or live streams or whatever. And then you end up going to bed like I did last night at midnight or 12:30, only to have to get right back up at 5:30. And that's why sometimes it's just weird how the mind plays tricks on you. Because I'm probably not alone on this, right? The mind plays a lot of tricks. pretty much exactly how the weekend went for me. Yeah. If you ever drive big trucks, sleep is crucial, especially on rotating shifts. Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, them truck drivers, man, that ain't no joke of a job, man. You fall asleep right in the middle of it, you cause an accident. Or sometimes it could be somebody that made you cause the accident. And I'll tell you, man, when I first got a car when I was 16 years old, I could drive from here to the moon and it was no big deal to me. I was like, I got my first car. I'm happy about it. I was driving around everywhere. I'm going to say after about 22, 23, man, you don't want to drive that shit no more. As you start getting older, you don't want to drive anymore, bro. You're like, fuck, I hate fucking driving. God damn it. Now, unless if it's somewhere down the street or something, you're like, you don't mind. But if it's like, you're going out of town or something, you fucking hate to drive because it's a lot of stress and you have to pay attention to the road and all that shit, man. Shit sucks. I fucking hate fucking driving, bro. And most of the time you're driving to somewhere you don't want to go anyway. Like work. You know what I mean? You're like, fuck, man, I fucking hate driving, man. Now I understand why them rich people, they got them limousine drivers driving them around. After a while, man, you fucking hate driving, bro. Try to drive with your eyes. No, hell no. Have you ever dozed off sleeping? Yeah, but not for long, just a couple seconds. Or if I'm at a red light, sometimes I'll like take a 20-second nap. I'll shut the eyes real quick, then wake back up. I'll put the car in park at the light, especially if I know there's a train, and I'll put the car in park, say, fuck it, I know I'm going to be here for like 10 minutes, I might as well just sleep. So I'll put the car in park where the car can't move, and then you sleep for like, maybe a couple minutes. Or you just kind of rest the eyes, you just kind of chill. I wouldn't necessarily say sleep like snoring, but you're just kind of chilling, You're not like all focused and shit where you get migraines and stuff. A lot of people think driving's easy. That shit's not easy, man. Having to pay attention to all your, your multitasking, looking at your side mirrors, the top, the visor mirror. You're constantly looking at your blind spots. It can give you a massive migraine after a while, man. And then when you're in a seated position, you get that torso, like your torso starts to stiffen up. So you got to stretch and all that. It's a pain in the ass, man. Especially if you're on a 4-hour drive or somewhere. Like, let's say when I used to go to Dallas, I used to love driving to Dallas. Fucking hate it now. I only go to Dallas like once or twice a year now. But I used to go like every other month. Back in 2020, 2021, 2022, I was going every other fucking month. I was going on fucking vacation. I would take 3-4 days. I fucking hate that shit now, man. That's why I was like telling my buddy, I'm not going to go to Dallas every month like I used to. I said, it'll be every now and then, man. Because it tears on the back, man. It's easy to sit passenger where you don't have to worry about it. Man, I got this phobia that who's ever driving me around doesn't know how to drive. So I'm always looking at the blind spots for them and shit, trying to, navigate them through traffic. Because I'm always afraid if I sleep, that fucker's going to get in a crash, and I don't want to die on somebody else's mishap, No, appreciate that. You know what, man? One time, at 17 years old, I was driving. I was taking my buddy home from school, right? And I dropped him off. He lived like down the street, the same neighborhood as me. So I dropped him off. We're hanging out at his house. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to head back to the house, right? Because I had school in the morning. So I'm driving my mom's whip, right? She had a Jeep Van Cherokee at the time, right? And I was driving it. And I hit this, I go to the yield sign, and there's this girl that was jogging right on the sidewalk, like that was like adjacent to the street. Like you had your main thoroughfare, and she was jogging on the sidewalk. So I was peeping her out, right? And I'm like, God damn, she's fucking fine. I fucking was staring at her, and I ended up not paying attention, and I ran into someone's mailbox. But thank God I was only going like, basically like the foot was off the gas, so I was already at a stop. So I just took my foot off the gas, and like I was turning the wheel, but I didn't make like a full, turn. And I ran into a mailbox, man. I'll never forget that, man. And the light had like a dent on it, like a little bit, but you couldn't really see it on the headlight. So I just didn't say anything. But when I got home, I'm like, fuck, you gotta start paying attention to the road. you got to pay attention to the road, man. And yeah, you got to make sure you're paying attention to your mirrors and everything, man. You take your eyes off the road for 1 second, it could cause a major accident. It's always important to pay attention. Yeah, I got a speeding ticket. Yeah, I did in the past. When I was like 18, 19, I had 2 speeding tickets back to back days. My dumb ass got pulled over in a speeding trap on South Post Oak, going towards Willow Bend, and this girl invited me over. You know what I'm saying? And I was driving to her house, and I was speeding. It was like 12:30 at night, and I'm all speeding the car, right? And I went through the speed trap, got pulled over by HPD, and it was a black guy. He was real cool, man. I can't remember his name, but he wrote me a ticket, right? So the next day, this was when I was 18, 19 to get fucked, you know? So the next day, she said, hey, you want to come over again? I was like, all right, fuck it. So I get in the car, and I start speeding down there. Man, I got pulled over in the same fucking spot in the same speed trap like a dumbass, back-to-back days. Even that cop was laughing at me, because he was like, I've been in the law enforcement for over 25 years, and I've never ever pulled the same person over twice, much less back-to-back days. And that motherfucker gave no chills. I tried talking him out of that motherfucker, wrote me a ticket again, bro. I had 2 tickets back-to-back. I had 2 court appearances, one on January 10th, one on January 24th, for 2 speeding tickets, bro. The first time I showed up, I had to pay the fine or whatever, right? And it went against my driving record. And I used defensive driving, or what they call that, to get it off my record. The second one went against my insurance. But when I went to court, the judge was like, didn't I already see you like 2 weeks ago? I was like, yeah. And he's like, so there must be a discrepancy. Like, how'd you get 2 tickets? And I told him, I said, look, I made a mistake, blah, blah, blah. And I was 19 years old at the time. And he just told me, and he said, why were you speeding? I told him the truth. I was, me and this girl were hitting it off, and she invited me over. And he's like, damn, it couldn't wait for an extra hour? You couldn't do the speed limit? I'm like, yeah, I know, I was stupid. I was like, I wasn't thinking, man, my bad. So I just told him I apologize. I said, look, I already did the defensive driving for the first one, and I showed him it. I showed him like the certificate that you get. And then after that, he said, okay, well, he's like, listen, man, I'm not going to put this against your driving record or whatever. So he said, I'll just dismiss this one, but don't get another one again. I said, oh, shit. So he dismissed it. But I was open and honest with him. He said, why were you speeding? I said, oh, I was getting some. And he started laughing. I was like, I got invited over to get some. So, the girl's name was Tanya, too. I'll never forget. Hispanic girl. She lived on the east side off of Normandy and 610 East. And she invited me over. I was like, and that was at the time where, you have full of energy and you could drive around anywhere. Shit, now, fuck that. I ain't driving around at no night like that. Fuck that. I'll see you in one of my off days or something. Maybe we'll go out for some coffee or something. But, yeah. Oh, those were the days. I hate driving now. Driving sucks. Yeah, because most places you're driving to, Marvin, you don't want to drive to because it's probably most likely fucking work, bro. Of course, nobody wants to drive. But anyways, back to the sleeping schedule, man. How many hours of sleep do you guys get normally? Does anybody want to tell me? Because I only had 5 today, and I feel great. And I guess it's just I need to build a routine. Does that make sense? I need to get a routine going where I can get the right amount of sleep. And that way, I need to stay consistent with my sleep pattern. Because sometimes sleeping too many hours is it's like you have too much sleep and it kind of messes your day up. I noticed that. Some people say, man, I can sleep for 12 hours. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, because I did that on my off day, right? I stayed up to maybe 11. Then I went to sleep and I woke up at 9 or something like that. Or I had way too much sleep and it messed me up, man. I was thinking I'm supposed to have all this energy. I'm like, I didn't feel like I had any. I feel like I still could have slept another couple of hours. And I was like, I thought 8.5 was recommended, but I guess if you sleep too much, it penalizes you. Does that make sense? It penalizes you for sleeping too much. But if I can get at least, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 probably would be the best. Would you rather work early or afternoons? I've done both. I've done overnights too. I really hate working overnight. I don't care what anybody says. The human body's not meant to be working overnight. It's not. You know what I mean? And I've known tons of people that I've worked with that do overnight, and they've been with the company for like 7-10 years, and they told me to this day they still struggle. They still struggle to this day sleeping. Having to work at night. Like, they still struggle with it. Because, you're just used to, your whole life, you're used to just sleeping at night. Even if, like, let's say you stay up all night, but eventually, like, you build a routine where most of the time, most people are sleeping somewhat at night. And it's kind of hard to know that you're sleeping during the day when everybody's up and active, right? Like, I do not like staying up all night. By about 9-10 o'clock, I'm already tired. I'm ready to go to bed. But then when you're laying down, you start that internet searching and shit. So you're on your phone and searching the internet and shit, right? So you're on the phone on the internet, and that's how instead of you going to bed at 10, you're laying in the bed till 12, but you convince yourself you fell asleep. And then you go to bed at 12:30, and then you're like, fuck, gotta wake up early. Well, at least I was laying in the bed at 10, even though you technically weren't sleeping. But if I know I gotta be at work early in the morning, I leave 2 t-shirts on every night. Every now and then I'll sleep in my uniform, so then that way I don't have to get up right at 5:30 to get dressed. I could probably wake up at like 6, so I get like that extra 30 minutes of sleep. And trust me, it adds up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's an extra 30 minutes you could have of sleep. Can you function without coffee? Yeah, I can go days without coffee, but like, if I know I need a little bit of energy, I'll drink a little bit of coffee. I have to have coffee. You have to. I go to bed around 8:30, and when I work early, prepare my clothes and gym for work the night before. Yeah. When you do that, it saves time. So, like, for example, if I know I gotta be in right at, like, let's say like 7 o'clock in the morning, and I know, and you depend on how far you live, I normally get up about 5:30, and I'm already dressed by 6. I'm already out the door about 6:10, right? But if you're already dressed or you're prepared, you have your clothes kind of lined up, you could just quick grab, get dressed, sometimes lay in the bed, get an extra 20-30 minutes of sleep, and then just jet out the door. Sometimes I'll make my coffee when I first wake up. I'll come back, get dressed at 5:30, about 5:40, get dressed, and then I'll then lay in the bed till like 6:10, 6:15, then jet out, just to get that extra sleep. Or if you're even better, man, sometimes you sleep in your uniform, and then that way you can just wake up at 6:10, and you're like, oh shit, it's time to go to work. Fuck. Let me go ahead and get up, man. Let me get ready, man. Let me do my shit, man. Just drive to work. Hey, my sign's still on that pole. Maybe I get some customer calls from there. Never know. I'm on the way to work right now. As soon as I pull up, I'm going to have to get off this live stream. I get about 7 to 30 minutes to 8 hours a night. That's not bad. I had 5 tonight, but I feel fucking great. And probably when I get home, I'm probably going to want to take a short nap, maybe like 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. I don't know, man. The body's weird, man. The mind's tricky. Like, if you know you're off the next 2 days, you ideally want to stay up late, but then you end up going to bed early. And then on the nights that you know you got to go to work the next day, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to go to bed early, right? Because I got to be at work at 6 a.m. or 7 or whatever. Then your ass is up till 12:30 at night. Man, it's weird how the mind plays tricks on you. You know what I mean? It's just weird. Your mind just plays all these tricks on you. You think you go to bed early on your off days, and then you stay up late on the days you got to go to work. It's just weird how the human mind works. I've trained my body, mindless fitness, to do right. That's what's up. I get up, stretch, listen to motivational videos, turn the shower on a few minutes, meditate. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. So it's all like a mental thing, I guess. You know what works, man? Heating pads. Y'all guys ever use heating pads? Oh, man. And you put those heating pads on your back, and it helps with blood circulation, like blood flow. Oh, man, does it. I'm telling you, it works its wonders. Works its magic. It works its wonders, man. Look at those tow trucks sitting there waiting like vultures. They know the minute motherfucker gets their tire pierced, they're like vultures, man, just waiting for you. Yes, sir. Shit. Just one of those days I don't feel like working today, but it is what it is. Just got to do it. We all got to make a living somehow. Like I said, I hope I get hired at the county, man. They start you off $24 an hour. I need the money. Ain't nobody bitching about that. 24 hours a week, but but you have to work mandatory 48 hours. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. They told me that. They said you're mandatory 48 minimum. I'm like, okay. That ain't no big deal to me. I don't mind working 48s. 48 to 52 hours. So you'll be clearing after taxes probably about a little over 4 a month. I mean, that ain't bad. Like a little over 1,000 a week. I ain't tripping. That's damn good money. That's more than what Walmart managers are making. Walmart managers, for the department managers make like 21 an hour, 20 an hour. That's how much they make. God damn it. Just my fucking luck. They're fucking repairing the road right there. You have a job. Many are lazy and rely on the government. Yeah, that or they're not. That or they're everybody now's rutted to the internet. That's what everybody's doing now. They're rutted to the internet to make money, which whatever with like doing TikTok trends and shit. All right, now I got to pull up here and get ready. Got to start doing my rounds. Get the rounds going. Got to go in and get the walkie-talkies, man. Them motherfuckers never work half the goddamn time. But yeah, I hope that the county hires me, man. $24 an hour. Top pays $35. You got to be there for 5 years. I'm like, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do. If I'm around for 5 years, I'll take the top pay at $35 an hour, and then they increase it. So that's good, right? So hopefully I get the job. I did the interview and all that, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's decent, but not good. Well, it's better than nothing. Shit, it's better than what I'm fucking making now. It is. It's better than what I'm making now. Shit. I'd rather do that than $1,000 a week's not that bad. $2,000 a month. Yeah, so I'll be Sports Life, I get what she's saying. Is that in the economy now, it's not really as good as it used to be. So I get what she's saying, but it's more than what I'm making now. That's all I'm saying. And like I said, you'll, after overtime and everything, you'll clear about $45 a month. because I already did the math. If I do 52 hours a week, and I'm making, and then after, I think after 40, it's time and a half. So I'd be making whatever 24. I'd be making $36 an hour for that. But I know they tax the fuck out of you though. That's the only problem, is they do tax the shit out of you. So that sucks. But you know, can't do nothing about that. Oh yeah, I'm going to be doing more park videos. I'm going to be doing more movies, watch-alongs, and I'm going to do those on Fridays and Saturdays. But anyways, guys, I'm going to head on out of here, man. I'm going to holler at y'all, man.